A nice military strike right there could be useful. Now, this has a downside because it could also kill innocent people. And there it is. What'd I tell you? The first thing I mention and it freaking happens. Deny any responsibility for the airstrike. Alright, we are here today with a political and military strategic banger in Rebel Inc. If you're noticing this over here and you're thinking, is that Plague Inc. up there, Falcon? Yes. This game is actually brought to us by the people behind Plague Inc., but here we're not dealing with diseases. We're not dealing with illnesses. We're not dealing with all sorts of infections and epidemics. Here we're dealing with a war-torn country. We're being brought in, and we're supposed to bring balance and peace to this land, whether it's by wiping out the filthy insurgents or by making peace with them. So we're going to the Saffron Fields. The invasion is over and combat forces have been withdrawn. Despite the initial hopes of change, the region is unstable, and the population feels neglected. Operation Bird Eradicator must stabilize the region. The local government has asked you to lead an operation to stabilize the region. You have full responsibility for all civilian and military matters. So first thing we gotta do is set up our HQ. Let me just do it up here in the center. So Delta Yankee, click on it, and now we have a little bit of intel on the surrounding areas around us. But as you can see over here in the gray ones, we have absolutely nothing at all. Like Ned Flanders via The Simpsons. To win, stabilize 100% of the region, which is noted by the stability bar over here. We're at 1% right now, obviously. But as I was mentioning, if I click over here, we have no intel available. We don't know what's happening over there, right? We'd also pause, right? So, the first thing that you want to do is start passing bills, win over the people. You might think the best strategy in this game is to rush the insurgents and kill them. I'll tell you how the insurgents screw you over pretty soon. The best way I think to win this game is by winning over the people and making that peace treaty at some point. But let's start off with civilian over here. So, civilian initiates, we'll click this over here and buy it for 2. I like how everything in this game is very cheap, by the way. You wanna... Well, let me open this up here first, right? You wanna get some water supplies up and running through all these regions? $2. You wanna start getting school regeneration? $2. Like, they keep the funds very low, I guess, to make it a lot easier. You don't have to worry about, like, giant numbers, but just think of those as, like, you know, maybe 2 million or something. Who knows? So, we got this opened up. Now we're going to go ahead and get water supplies. One of the easiest things early on is to spread water. It's very cheap. Now, you notice these meters down here, right? We'll buy this. So, 0 of 25 zones. We got to get through 25 zones of what's available. Then once we win over other lands, it'll be even more. But look at these bars down here. When I do water expansion, you see how inflation's going up and corruption's going up, but support's still going up too. Inflation means that you can't overspend too quickly. If you have a budget, you can't just dump everything right now, because if you do that, it's going to cost more and more than it would normally cost. So you kind of want to wait it out, spread it out a little bit. Corruption is basically just the military leaders, or at least the government leaders out there, taking bribes. Too high of that, it's also going to lose your support with people at the same time. So right now we'll do water, and let's also open up school and medical supplies. Inflation's going a little bit high up, so I'm gonna ignore it here for now. Watch out for inflation. I know. I already told the viewers about it, game. Don't worry. I got you on that part. So we'll go into 3 times speed right now. Let this kind of marinate in the background for us. The reputation bar shows how long until you lose. So if this hits 0, you obviously lose. Very self-explanatory, I would say. Now, what's happening around through other regions, you're seeing all those little hammers do their job. That's us spreading our school regeneration, water supplies, you name it. And we get funds every month as well, based on reputation. Higher reputation, more money we get. Lower reputation, less money you get, which is no good. Over here, you can tell what's going on. So inflation's down to a 5. Now we can start spending again, I would say. And we need local intel. Go to government, and we got district representatives right here. These will gather intel for us over time, but it takes a while. What I'd like to do as well is get a multiplier. PR and media office significantly multiplies existing and future support levels. So essentially, it costs a lot, but all the goodwill that we're doing gets multiplied because we're kind of putting it out there in the market where it's like, oh, Falcon's, you know, spreading water throughout the lands. He's bringing the schools back to the, you know, regions and down. So we want to kind of placate to that, you know? Normally you want to do these things out of goodwill, but it's a political game, so, you know, you gotta put it out there that you care about the people. I mean, you do, but at the same time, it's a political game, you know? You need people to know that you care. That's how you get voted into office. So we have an insurgency rumored. Military initiatives authorized. So insurgents are preparing to attack the region. Military initiatives are now available. Deploy soldiers to defend the region. So now is where things are gonna get a little bit froggy. We're back at 41 though, which is good. Corruption is at 23, and inflation's at 4, so it's a good time for us to start spending. Now, where these scumbags are at, we'll keep our eyes open. You will notice little red blips here and there, but so far, nothing that really stands out. Let's go over here to military and pop open the coalition soldiers here for 7. And let's start getting some national soldiers up and running too for 9er. Let's get the interpreter's guide first, and this will make it so that we have fellow people of the towns, of the lands, with our coalition military forces. So at least they have an interpreter. It's not just white man walking around with rifle yelling at them in English or something. So this will kind of make things a little bit easier for the people to accept. We have civil assistance, which kind of gets the our soldiers involved with the communities, which makes them even more accepted. And a human terrain system, but again, we don't want to spend too much. We already got 2 of these up and running, so that's good. Garrisons will be useful eventually. We also have airstrikes, but again, we'll talk about that once we find some bunkers and stuff like that. Corruption is still fairly high. I kind of want to get this one here. Causes less corruption when funded. I'm going to pick this one up here as well. And we'll wait a bit, because now we have low money. Inflation's going up, but I'm worried about that corruption. So soldiers' trainings are left on the screen. Yeah. As you can see, the coalitions are coming in immediately. The national ones take 22 months, so that's gonna be a while. Now, we don't know, we don't have any intel just yet on where these scumbags are coming in from. So for now, I'm gonna go ahead and send you off to here. Now, you're seeing some of the gray areas turning green though. We are spreading about. Oh, okay, we found something. Insurgents reported in Foxtrot, Lima. So, now we could come over here and move our forces onto them. And we normally want to do that. There's 2 different schools of thought, I would say. There is the attack them when you get the chance, or ignore them. If you ignore them, though, they have a chance of setting up camps and, like, you know, moving their insurgents from one area to the other one and, like, taking over your small areas. Otherwise, you could do it this way and keep them on the run. You're not going to beat them right now. They normally run away and they run off to another land. The way to take care of them completely is to surround them with either units or with garrisons to block off their escape routes. You kind of want to push them towards the end of the screen, or the edge of the screen. And that's where you essentially wipe them out for good. Now, that's not the only one that's there. There's probably another insurgent somewhere that we haven't seen just yet. We have an event over here too. Luxury hotel proposed in Alpha Victor. An international firm wants to build a lavish new hotel tower in Alpha Victor. So we approve this. It'll ensure that all necessary approvals are given by the new building, increases the zone support level. There's an unknown chance of long-term tourism boom. So I'm going to say yeah, because it just means that the area, at least the zone, is flourishing, is prospering. It gives people hope. But now we kind of have to give them support. We have to keep an eye on them because now the insurgents have a target. Oh, they got a hotel over there with people from other nations, other countries coming in. Perfect place for them to actually attack you. And over here, Delta Yankee is now stable. So the very first thing we start off is now green. That is good. Essentially, we want to win by turning the entire map highlighted green this way. I'm going to say healthcare, very important. And we'll get expanded healthcare for that star. Those star ones are normally very, very good. Focus on those as well. Alright, so we're very broke now. Inflation's going up, so I'm going to give it a little bit of time to go down. But now with all these extra things that we have passed, we should build them faster because we have that one thing from the military tab as well. So now, hold up. We have the extra coalition guard here. As I mentioned, we could have them just guard the tower area, but as you can see, we have some more dudes, some more insurgents over in that area, more activity. So we'll place that over there and see about just keeping them fleeing. I just don't want them to stabilize and start building bases. Let's go into 3 times speed over here. So far we're at 13%, which isn't really too bad. What'd I tell you? Insurgents fire rockets from luxury hotel rooftop. The hotel in Alpha Victor represents an ongoing security risk, and insurgents have exploited the lack of building security to launch a surprise attack on the zone. So the scumbags were there all along. So we're gonna have you guys deploying here very soon, luckily. I'm gonna place you right over there. I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's have you come over here because that worries me quite a bit. And we're at 20 right now, correct? Let's go and open up some drones. Establishing the democratic universal justice. I'm gonna go with that one right there. It puts us at a very low disadvantage when it comes to money, but we're fine. Insurgents are in high population area in Alpha Vector. Yeah, don't worry, we're coming up there, We're moving there as a matter of fact. Insurgents have taken over Foxtrot Juliet, which is this area over there. It's fine. Now, what's good about that, we had no control over that area just yet. If they take over an area that we already had some, I guess, focus on, then it hits you really hard when it comes to reputation. Are we there already? There we go, finally. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to move those soldiers that we have been training up to there and see how that plays out. This should be coming to an end pretty soon, and those guys should be fleeing. Now, as you can see, they're running down towards the south area. Insurgents escaped to the Alpha Whiskey, right? Now, these scumbags are being pushed off over to this land over here as well. So, again, we just need a bit more military forces to kind of help us out here. How should we prepare for democratic elections? Successfully held elections would significantly increase Bird Eradicator's reputation, but ensuring security could be difficult. How should Bird Eradicator proceed? So, we have to begin preparations for free elections in the regions in 3 years. It'll cost us 11, gets us 2 extra reputation points. So I'm going to say yes, we are definitely going to work towards elections as well. People want to see elections. Warning, insurgents are escaping from our soldiers. Yeah, I'm aware of that. But unfortunately can't do much about it right now. We could follow them, but is what it is. Right now, these guys are losing out this battle quite a bit. The National trained soldiers, until you upgrade them quite a bit more, they're really weak. I just put them in there right now to kind of help them out. And Airstrike would be very useful right there too, is what I'm thinking. Over here momentarily, I'm going to put them over here because they're better trained. Because you're losing out this fight quite a bit. So we got a -1 on that one. And they're establishing over here. Oh, here's our drone. You see that? There's our drone right there, and it's found, or at least it's looking for a camp. But it has identified that as a problem area, and because it's red, it might be a problem. We have a second area now captured as well, or at least under our control. And there is the actual camp. We're at 16. A nice military strike right there could be useful. Now, this has a downside because it could also kill innocent people. And if that happens, it could hit your reputation. You could try to deny it, though. You could be a scumbag about it. It's going to cost us 15 right now, which is quite a bit of a big expenditure. Kind of want to go extra coalition for now, but getting rid of that base could be useful so that they don't multiply anymore, so I'm going to unlock it now. And there it is. Drop some bombs, lower that quite a bit. What'd I tell you? The first thing I mentioned and it freaking happens. The Bird Eradicator authorized Earthstrikes successfully hit insurgents in the district, but also caused multiple civilian casualties. How should we respond? We'll cover it up. Deny any responsibility for the airstrike. It's only a 3% chance that it'll fail, so I think we should be fine. Airstrike successfully denied. It wasn't us, it was just some other random government flying their jets over and dropping bombs. It was definitely not us. And you know what, as long as it works, it's fine. So we're bringing down that camp, and that rebel base should be coming to an end now. There is corruption rising. That's not even a problem. I mean, we were up to like 30 at some point, so we've reduced it to 23, and going down, we're still fine. That's basically the tutorial telling us about that, though. And the Insurgent cap has been destroyed. Very good. The number of people dying each year from dehydration has fallen by 53%. That's going to really help us out with our reputation. And we're at 28. So we're definitely, again, we want to... We pushed them out of there already. That was really quick. You know what? Come over there, boys. The Reds, by the way, are really disappearing really quickly. There's some boys moving through here. The coalition soldiers are deploying over soon. Our deployments are over soon. This is something that I didn't mention, but our coalition soldiers, like any other soldier, they're over here for tours. Their tours are going to come to an end at some point. You could let them go, or you could keep them longer. If you keep them longer, though, they get low morale, your reputation drops, yada yada yada. So it's telling me that, hey, very soon, you're going to have to worry about that. Let's come over here, then. And we got more areas over there being controlled as well. Perfect. Locals in Alpha Victor angry about coalition soldiers. Fine. You know what? You're so angry about being protected by the white man? Okay, fine. You come over here. National Guard, there you go. And we're bombing over in this area too. That's fine. There you go. You got your own national soldiers there, alright? I mean, I imagine after rockets being launched from the top of your rooftop into the zone, you don't really matter or care who's keeping you safe, but hey. What do we got here? Foreign rivals supporting insurgents. It is becoming increasingly clear that a rival foreign country is trying to destabilize the region. They're providing the insurgents with significant support in the form of manpower and funding. How should we respond? So there's a foreign rival out there supporting these filthy insurgents. Do we counterstrike? Use deniable assets to attack and destabilize the rival country to prevent it from supporting the insurgents. It'll cost us aid, damage diplomatic relations, 64% chance that the rival slightly cuts the support for the insurgent, just slightly. Almost a dice roll, I would say. Publicly accused. Announce to the world that the rival country is supporting insurgents and demand that it stops immediately. There's an accusation backfire, so we're not going to do this one. And I think it's because our reputation still isn't too high, so it's still fairly low, so I don't think people would buy it. So we'll have to go with Counter-Strike for this one. And... whew, we failed. So they did not cut off the funding to these dudes, unfortunately. We also have a blue one here. Coalition soldier tore over his duty. Or it's over his duty. Coalition tour duty is over. I'm gonna keep him longer. We'll lose 6 points of reputation, but we have fairly good high numbers. I don't think it's too big of a problem. What's happening here? Women's rights laws have been proposed. New laws are being proposed to improve women's rights and come closer to meeting international equality standards. Will Bird Eradicator back the reforms? No reform. Refuse to offer backing to the reform? Gradual reform or full reform? Well, I definitely want to full reform it. I'm just hoping that we don't get a bad RNG with them. It doesn't seem like they backlashed. Perfect. Ooh, more of the area is being controlled. And check it out, we're very close to making it up to 50. So that's good. These boys are moving off to this area over there. They have moved down over here as well. So what I'm thinking we can do is we chase them through here. There's a good possibility. Oh no, we would need like another extra guard here. If we attack these guys down over here and have a guard there and move you guys here, they'd be surrounded. They couldn't escape, so we complete them. We eradicate them right now. But unfortunately, we'd have to move the National Guard. And considering the amount of, you know, insurgent activity we've seen there, if we leave them alone, we could lose them. That could really hurt our reputation quite badly. So at this point, though, just keep them on the run is what I'm thinking. And that's about it. Perfect. Well, we have elections due to be held. Election campaigns are now underway. The polls open in 3 months' time. The insurgents will try to disrupt them and reduce turnout. Protect as much of the population as possible. So the insurgents have now made it a point that they're going to try to kill people for voting. And that is a perfect place for us to wrap up here for this one. This is Rebel Link. If you guys enjoy, want to see more of this, let me know in the comments and by leaving a thumbs up. We'll come back and do some more. Really fun. If you like Play a Game, I think you'll definitely enjoy this one. And this one seems to have a bit more like, you know, action to it. Like where you're moving stuff around, moving pieces. It almost feels like a digital board game in a sense. But if you guys want to see some more, let me know in the comments and by leaving a thumbs up. I will catch you next time.